What's good? This is your man Red Wisdom coming at you with another dope video. And today's topic is all about self-value versus market value. And this is a very, very important topic because people, both men and women, particularly in dating, life, and business, do not understand the differences between self-value and market value. And oftentimes people don't even understand what value is. And so, like I said, in life, in business, and in dating, everybody has value. Your life has a value. Your business has a value. Your sexuality, your attractiveness has some type of value. So what is value? Well, value by definition is completely subjective. But value really can be quantified as some type of measurable desire. So if you look at like value within the market, it's just a critical mass of people wanting something. Like right now, stocks and NFTs and crypto, all this stuff is booming right now. And that's because a lot of humans are placing a lot of value on these items. And I tell people, wherever attention goes, value flows. So burn that into your brain. Wherever attention goes, value flows. Simple. But there's always two types of value in the world. There's your self-value, and then there's the market value. So it's pretty explanatory, but there's a lot of people who may not get what I'm talking about. But self-value, this is your self-worth. This is the value that you place on yourself. And if you can't tell by now, like I'm a wordsmith, I'm an author, I like to use a lot of puns, but like I said, this shit is so simple, but people make it difficult. But that's what self-value is. It's the value placed on yourself. It's what you think of yourself, how you rank yourself. And a lot of people's self-value or self-worth is low. Some people's is high. Some people's is average. But like I said, it's all subjective. It's basically kind of like your internal barometer of confidence. And typically we'll just stick with this scale. You know, a lot of people's value can be measured on a scale of 0 to 10. 0 being hella low and 10 being very, very high. Note that. The same measurement can be applied to market value. And so, what is market value? Well, it's the value the market, aka the world, aka other people, it's the value that they place on you. So it's what others think of you. How much do they think that you're worth? What gets people into trouble is when their self-value and their market value are incompatible. When their self-value and their market value are not even close to each other, when they're way out of proportion. And it's a conundrum because how do you place a number on someone's value? Because technically, as all humans, with the equal, unalienable, God-given rights, all of us should be seen as equal. If you study history, is that the truth? Hell to the no. Some people's value gets cut because of their skin color. Some people's value gets cut because of their height, their body shape, the way they talk, the way they smell, where they were born, their social circles. Value in itself is just a subjective bullshit ass numerical value that really can't be quantified. But for the game's sake, for the truth's sake, you have to roll with it. What's most important is that between self-value and market value is that you place more value on your self-value. You have to believe in yourself. You have to have confidence. Because if you don't believe in yourself, then nobody else will. It's simple as that. And that self-belief, that energy, that confidence, it's very, very attractive to other people, even of the same sex. No homo, none of that here. It's just, it is what it is. If I walk into a boardroom full of dudes, full of heterosexual dudes, and I walk in with my head down and, looking all soft and weak, and I'm like, hey guys, you want to do business with me? You think they're going to do business? No. But if I walk in, hey, my name's so-and-so, have the deliverables, I know my numbers, in X amount of days or in X amount of years, you're going to get this amount of return. If you don't, this is going to be your opportunity cost of doing nothing. Bam, bam, bam. You think people are going to do a deal with me? Probably so. Just for abbreviated and exaggerated purposes. Same thing in dating. If I go up to approach a woman and I'm like, hi, would you like to go out with me? You think a woman's going to find that attractive? No. But if I approach her, look into her eye, hey, my name's Craig. You're extremely gorgeous. I couldn't help but want to come introduce myself. Here's my number. Shoot me a text, shoot me a DM, and we can link up later this week. Monday or Tuesday, 8 o'clock. You pick. Exaggerated purposes, but you think that approach is a lot stronger? Hell yeah, because I have confidence. I believe in myself. I give myself high self-value, high self-worth. But at the same time, I have to also understand that we all have limitations. We all have baggage. None of us are perfect. There's no such thing as a 10 out of 10, as a dime piece. None of that shit. It's impossible. Nobody's perfect. You could stack anybody up next to each other in the world. There will not be one person that everybody will say, oh, this is the best looking or the most attractive person in the world. It's subjective. People will like you or dislike you for any reason. But putting that to the side, you still have to have a high self-worth. For me, out of 10, I always give myself an 8. 10 out of 10, it's not possible. 9 out of 10? No, because I know there's some things that I lack that a lot of people place value upon. I'm not the tallest guy. 5'9". I'm black. There's other things people might just knock me because of my height and my skin color. Who knows? But 8 out of 10, you're damn right. If there's 10 dudes in a room, I bet I can, outdo most of them if given a chance, for sure. Having an above average body, above average net worth, above average confidence, above average life experience. Give myself solid 8 out of 10 self-worth. Just for, exaggeration, not exaggeration, real life purposes. But that's self-worth. It's the value you put on yourself. You don't want to be delusional with this shit, but you also don't want to undercut you. You got to believe in yourself. 8 out of 10, you best believe I got it. And I believe that. So let's move over to market value. What's market value? Well, it's value that the market, aka other people, place upon you. It's what others think of you. And at the end of the day, you can influence this, but you can't control it. Like I said, there's some people who just won't find value in you because of the way you look, the way you talk, where you grew up, who's your social network, your job application, what language you speak, bullshit ass stereotypes. There's a bajillion infinite amount of reasons for people to not place value upon you. Open up a history book. Start reading. Google shit. There's people get exterminated. There's been genocides. There's discrimination for every freaking reason as possible. I don't understand it. because don't discriminate, don't hate against anybody. I have my preferences. I want my women to look a certain way. I want them to have a certain disposition, a certain education. I just don't want them to be, doing anything. I have standards. And based upon my standards is how I categorize my market value for women. Like I said, it's everybody's system of value is different, but this is the value that other people place upon you. The beautiful thing about market value is that you can very, very quickly find out where it is. In terms of life, who's in your social circle? How much influence do you have? How much power do you have? What's your quality of life? How do people view you? How do people respect you? How do people talk to you? You can find out your life kind of market value there. In business, it's pretty simple. I mean, you can calculate your net worth. How much you own minus how much you owe. That equals your net worth. I mean, there's a lot of bullshit out here. I mean, a lot of people, a lot of these tech bros losing billions of dollars on paper, but are worth hundreds of billions of dollars somehow in the bank and in the markets. It's all manipulation. I'll get on that in another video. A lot of this paper is all fake. A lot of these people's business value is trash. But you can calculate your net worth. What you own minus what you owe. That's your business market value. And then when it comes to dating, we're talking about your sexual market value. Well, if you're infrequently dating women, if you're infrequently sleeping with women, if you're infrequently dating men, if you're infrequently sleeping with men, like I said, the litmus test isn't sex, but it determines how sexually attractive you are, and that's kind of the value I'm talking about, is like your sexual market value or sexual self-value. If you've been on a drought for months, for years, fellas, you might have a low sexual market value. It's completely different for women, because women, I'll be breaking this down more in depth, but women's sexual market value is solely based upon their physical appearance. Women are based upon their beauty, and a lot of men, I believe this to be true, our sexual market value is determined on who we've become. What is our clout? What is our status? What is our net worth? What are we doing? What's our occupation? Like I said, I'll break this down in another video more in depth. But yeah, you have to know the differences between your self-value and market value. And if they're both way off, you got a problem. If your self-value is too high and your market value is too low, you're delusional. You think you the shit, but other people don't. Or it could be the opposite. A lot of people, your sexual market value could be really, really high, but then your self-market value is low, so you're not going to be able to take advantage of that. So you're still going to be screwing yourself. The key here is to make sure that your self-value and your market value are equal, but also on the rise. Nobody will ever be a 10 out of 10. Not in the market and not in their head. We all have issues. We all have baggage. There's something about each and every one of us. We all have flaws. We all have deficiencies. If you can aim and get yourself to an 8 out of 10 self-value, get yourself to an 8 out of 10 market value, you're going to be unstoppable, because you're never going to be able to get anybody and everybody. Somebody will find something wrong with you. Oh, my nose is crooked. I have a beard. I'm wearing a hat. I'm wearing a V-neck. Somebody can find some bullshit to knock me down. Oh, I have brown eyes instead of blue. Yeah, who cares? Change what you can change. And what you can't change, let that go, let that be. But just understand that, like, you need to do whatever you can to raise your internal self-value and your external market value. Get those as high as possible. Aim for an 8 out of 10 because that gives you something to go after. Like, how can I make myself a 9 out of 10? It's possible. Some people, I believe, have gotten those, certain celebrities, certain business people, people who have their life on point, they got their money on point, they got their bodies on point. Those people have very, very high self and market value. But then we also know there's a lot of people who seem like they got it great on paper, but then they go and blow their brains out the next day. You never know. A lot of people look good on paper, they look good in the market, they got all the bodies, they got all the women or all the men as possible, and they still hate themselves. You never know. That's why I say your internal self-value is most important. And you get that right first, then you can increase your market value. So self-value first, increase that, then increase your market value and see what happens. So make sure you embody this game that I'm giving you. It's really going to transform your life. It's going to transform your business. It's going to transform your dating. But like, to begin, you got to look within. It all starts within yourself. Get yourself right and watch what you attract. So, yeah. Until next time.